Gil de Castro was an Afro-Peruvian painter born to two enslaved parents in Peru in the second half of the 18th century. The story of José Gil de Castro's portrait of young Carlota Caspe y Rodríguez really tells one of the most incredible stories of any work of art in the Tucson Museum of Art's collection. On its surface, this painting appears to be a pretty straightforward portrait of a young woman from the South American aristocracy. She wears a blue dress, she holds a fan that has a kind of jeweled adornment on its base. She's standing posed next to a sheet of music, and she appears with a necklace and a ring. The music is labeled moderato, of moderate volume and tempo. And the belief here is that that idea of moderation might have applied not just to the music, but to the young girl herself, with moderation being a kind of virtue in the society where she was raised. When he signed his paintings, Gil de Castro often participated in creating a kind of aura around himself and in constructing his identity as an artist. In the painting at the Tucson Museum of Art, the inscription is actually written in Latin. It says, "Me pingebat Josephus Gil." I was painted by José Gil. But here he's changed his name into Latin. He's created a kind of Latin version of his name because Latin was this prestige language of religion and science, and he wanted to depict himself as a learned scholar. You have the artist, the son of enslaved parents, trying to move his way up in South American society by creating the work. There's so much interplay happening across the surface of this canvas. I find this dynamic between them, right? Between the Black artist portraying this woman and between the woman herself, a really interesting, complex one that tells us about relationships of power. And somehow the painting is sitting right at the nexus of this relationship, living within that tension. Older paintings, like José Gil de Castro's portrait of Carlota, often have had lots of changes happen to them over the course of their lives. And fortunately, museums have tools that can help us to figure out how it is that a work of art has changed.
Recently, we've had the painting reframed for exhibition. When we took the previous frame off, we examined the painting a little bit more closely, and we noticed that there are several areas where there has been previous conservation work. You can especially see in the music, in the forearm. There are several other places on the figure, and also in the signature area. So we know that previous work has been done. There's a lot that black light can tell us that we can't see under normal light. So usually when a painting comes into the collection that I suspect has conservation work done, black light is usually one of the first things that I use to examine, just to get a better idea of what I'm dealing with. So we might see a lighter color, a white, or just a difference in the paint surface where in-painting might have happened or previous repairs might be present. We've observed some fold lines in the canvas itself, so perhaps at some point it might have been folded or rolled. If you turn the painting around on the verso, there is evidence that it's been lined previously, and that might have been a part of some previous conservation work along with the in-painting. When a work of art comes into the collection, each piece gets its own special number, which helps us identify it in the collection and also, as we proceed as a collecting institution.
When the museum accepts new works of art into its collection, there's a lot of paperwork that happens. And it seems like when TMA took on the painting of Carlota Caspe y Rodríguez, the museum staff didn't really understand who the portrait's artist was. If we look at those old forms where they're kind of doing the intake of the painting, the museum staff marked that the work was created by a Spanish artist, and over again, the painting is described as a painting from Spain. Now, the painter who made the work was an Afro-Peruvian artist born to enslaved parents. And so it seems like by not knowing the full story of the painting, this artist's identity as an Afro-Peruvian was effectively erased from the museum's knowledge of the painting. So in 2013, the file was updated to show that the painting was in fact created in South America by Gil de Castro. All of this shows us that the museum's collections are dynamic. As we learn more about the works of art that we care for, our knowledge about them changes, the way that we document these works changes, and the works themselves in a way kind of evolve too, as we who appreciate them learn more about them.